Welcome to the 2023 Game Room Tour.
Let's do it!
Team Canada.
What's up, guys? I'm SeeJayAre. Welcome to the 2023 Game Room Tour. This is the tour that will live for the year of 2023. I post a new Game Room Tour every December. If you want to see a previous room tour to get an idea of how the space has evolved over the past almost 10 years, you'll find them in the cards either here or here. I've also posted recent videos on a overview review of my virtual pinball table, my office tour, aka the second game room, which is a awesome space in its own right. Feel free to check those out. I'm going to move very quick through this room tour. I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes. If you want to see more about an individual section, you will find a video for that section in the cards somewhere here. So check it out there where I go more in depth. Some quick housekeeping. I'm SeeJayAre, for those of you who are just finding this room tour for the first time. If you haven't done so, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Huge thank you to my followers who've been with me for a long time. Really appreciate the support. 6,700 games in this collection. The entire collection, everything you're going to see in this video is completely free. I know that sounds crazy. I will post a garage sale video list up here as well, where you'll be able to actually see how I was able to do this, essentially buying a big box of games, keeping what I need, flipping the rest for profit, putting that profit into more games. Fast forward 10 or 12 years, and this is what I have. So you can check out those videos to see exactly how I built this collection for nothing. Even the pinball machine was paid for by viewers like you. So thank you so much, guys, for the support. The little bit of ad revenue that I get on this channel always goes back into the game room. Some quick housekeeping. As I said, 6,700 games. I have not played them all. I have the rest of my life to enjoy them with my boys, Andrew and Teddy, who are now 10 and 11 years old. I'm not a virgin. I don't live in my parents' basement. I have two boys, so I've had sex at least twice. My electricity bills aren't obscene. I only turn all this stuff on once or twice a year, either for the room tour or at Christmas when we have family over. So that's not really an issue. Dusting is becoming an issue as the house gets older. It never used to be, but I'm finding it's getting a little more dusty here. So those are some of the usual questions. If you have any more, feel free to comment below. You can, of course, follow me on Instagram. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And yeah, as I said, please subscribe. And without further ado, let's get to the 2023 Game Room Tour. All right, so quick overview of the game room. This is the corner that you guys were just in. I'll kind of do a turn here to give you guys an idea of the full space before we go through everything kind of area by area, section by section. Lots to see in this game room. I'm gonna try my best to keep it under 20 minutes, however, because I know you guys are busy. All right, we'll quickly walk down here. Quick pivot. We'll say hello to my youngest boy, Ted.
Hello.
What are you playing?
Goat Simulator 3.
Goat Simulator 3.
Awesome.
All right.
Game.
It is really fun. Okay, so we're gonna start here in the infamous Nintendo Nook. Warp Zone Games. Shout out to Warp Zone Games. I added that Nintendo sign. We've got 007 running. I think it's getting a remake soon, which would be pretty cool because I tried to play this with my boys. They weren't all that impressed. 6,700 games in the collection now. We'll start with the N64 and labels by Zabo's Arcades. Shout out to Zabo's Arcades. Super Nintendo collection, the loose Super Nintendo collection. I'll show you the other ones later. We've got the Fantastic series of N64. I've done individual videos on this section where I go more in depth. You'll find that in the cards above too. If you want to spend more time in an individual section, most likely I've done a dedicated video on it. This is mostly a Nintendo area. You can see I've got a PlayStation down there and a Master System. I think I've got a SEGA CDX, which is kind of dark, kind of hard to see there, but yeah, this is a TV unit from IKEA. I have two of these. They are fantastic. Some boxed N64 stuff. A lot of my handhelds. Boxed consoles up here. And of course, my pride and joy, the NES collection. This is one thing that I would never part with. Not that I'm looking to sell my collection, but I absolutely love the NES. It's the first console I grew up on. I want to say I'm at 532 NES games. It's getting harder to find them. We are going to pivot here to the main gaming area. So this is where we play the current gen consoles. We've got the Xbox Series X and the PS5 on top here. Got the black shell on the PS5 there. A couple PS5 controllers. PS3 Fat still running strong. I can play PS1, PS2, and PS3. We got the Retron 5. It's a little dark. A GameCube and Sega Dreamcast hooked up to HDMI. Of course, the Nintendo Switch. Oh, new addition is the Mega SG. Did I get that right? The Genesis from Analog? I think that's right. This is a Sony 4K TV, HDMI 2.1s for that high refresh rate. We've got some console boxes up top, and then the Nintendo Nook has kind of spilled out into this area. We've got DS, 3DS, GameCube, to which I added a bunch of GameCube games this garage sale season. We've got our Moo Moo Farms Raceway Mario Kart artwork there. Still love that. On the right side of the TV, we've got our Switch, Wii U, some Wii games, controller boxes, that kind of stuff. One of the newest additions to the game room this year is the Blu-ray shelf, which runs the length of the room here, as you can see. It's not the prettiest job I've done, but it's functional. I've started collecting Blu-rays again. I had, I don't know, like 1,000 DVDs back in the day, which I sold off, but it's getting harder to find stuff on streaming networks. So I'm picking up Blu-rays when I find them because they're so cheap. I pay less than probably 50 cents, $1 each. And in behind Teddy here, we've got the Calyx shelf. These Calyx shelves are fantastic from IKEA because in my case, I use it as a divider and I get double the storage. We've got the Lego Nintendo NES Entertainment System, some boxed Super Nintendo games, Virtual Boy box, Game Boy case up there. Ted, should we show them the secret compartment here? Yeah. Here's our selection of controllers. We've got so many Xbox controllers. All right, this is one of our favorite things. People always love this in the game room tour. So this is the hidden compartment. This is a new couch, by the way, for those of you that don't notice, that didn't notice. So we have a new hidden compartment for the Game Boy collection. Over on Teddy's side there, we've got Game Boy. Then it moves from left to right. Ted, come on, move your feet. Okay, Game Boy Color. And then this is all GBA games. Absolutely love the Game Boy family of consoles. And I'll show you some of my modded Game Boys in a few minutes here. So super awesome for storage. Does a great job of keeping that stuff. And if I ever get robbed, most likely they'll miss that. So at least we'll have our Game Boy games, right? Over here to the PlayStation corner. Oh, we've got a Mario Maker standee here. This is the PlayStation corner. I've got PS1. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, if you don't, check out the description below. Well, remember when this shelf came loose from the wall because of my terrible craftsmanship and tipped over, and there was PS1 RPGs everywhere. I had a mini heart attack, but we came through that okay. The shelves I've made myself. You'll see these throughout the game room. Super simple. Yeah, a couple pieces of wood painted, screwed together, the wall as the backing. So super cheap way to do it, and I think it looks pretty good. I got to tighten up that gap. If I'm going to plan to keep the PS1 here, I'd probably close that up a bit. PS3 kiosk. This is running Klonoa on the PS1. And of course, my PSP collection. Absolutely love collecting for the PSP. Games are getting pretty pricey. PS3 collection is not huge. PS4 I'm starting to find at garage sales, so I'm picking those up as I go along too. And rotating over this way, we have the wall of PS2, another 3D printed sign from Warp Zone Games. PS2 collection is pretty extensive. And then over here, we've got the Xbox with Xbox 360, original Xbox. Super Chex Bubble Hockey. That was always a dream to add to my collection. We've got the Xbox 360 kiosk. We've got the Sega Dreamcast kiosk. This was one of my grails. I'm going to show you another grail. Well, that was another grail. That's definitely a grail. And I'm going to show you a grail after in 1 second here. Name that game. Oops. It just flashed it. Name that game in the comments below. Grand Theft Auto standee. Here we've got a tube TV playing Mega Man 2. I typically use this for gun games. Beer fridge, I don't really drink beer these days, so there's typically nothing in that. And let's pivot to the newest edition here. I'm just going to turn down this volume even more. So this right here is my brand new virtual pinball machine. As I mentioned, you'll find a card above to the top right. I think that's where it is, but you'll find a full review on this guy. Shout out to Woodstock Custom Arcades. You'll find a link in the description below. They have some of the best prices in North America on virtual pinball machines and arcade machines. And the craftsmanship on this is outstanding. So look up Derek at Woodstock Custom Arcades and tell him SeeJayAre sent you. And yeah, feel free to check out that full video. Over here to the record section, also an avid retro or record collector. I think I'm at about 1,800 records these days. 2 Newmark TTX, some Pioneer or Technique stuff here. Yeah, absolutely love music. Love throwing on records down here in the game room. I also collect a couple boom boxes, which are kind of hiding up in there. And one more up there. So this is the Sega section. We'll start off. We've got an arcade machine here from Man Cave Arcades. I'm running Metal Slug. And then this is mostly Sega here. This is a complete Sega Dreamcast collection. My not pathetic Sega CD collection, not bad. So I added a bunch of Japanese Dreamcast games to the collection this year. You guys might remember that video where I got that huge score. Sega Saturn, my Retro Gamer magazine collection, Nintendo Powers, which are worth a small fortune now. And then over to another 3D printed sign from Warp Zone Games. Yeah, Sega Genesis. I absolutely love collecting for the Genesis, but it's kind of hard to find these days. I don't have much luck with that. We got Sega Master System down at the bottom, boxed consoles, Game Gear games. I've got a bunch in a case as well, some boxed consoles, and then over to some older stuff. I know I'm going pretty quick here, guys, but like I said, you'll find individual videos on my channel going through all this. We got a Vectrex, we got TurboGrafx stuff, we got Neo Geo, some old Xboxes, Ataris, the Sega Pico. Be the first thing to go. People always ask me what happens when you run out of room. First thing that goes, Sega Pico. Some handheld stuff, some old arcades over here, some Tiger Electronics handhelds. Another retro gaming setup. This is a 36-inch Sony Wega playing Christmas Nights. I love Christmas themed games. You can see I've got a PS2, Dreamcast, a Wii, Sega Saturn, TurboGrafx, and the Neo Geo just above the retro VCR there. And let's see what we got in here. This is the old Ottoman that used to be over there. A couple great books. Gameboy modding from Game Changer Mods. These books are awesome from Bitmap Books. They do a bunch of great stuff. These two are also Bitmap. Go Straight. This is all about shmups, Super Famicom Compendium, and the Game Boy box art collection. Really good stuff from Bitmap Books. Highly recommend those. Open this up. So this used to house my Game Boy collection. Now it's mostly Dreamcast stuff. We got a Virtua stick for the Sega Saturn. Yeah, a bunch of controllers and stuff in here. So more great storage. A couple plushies that my dog always tries to murder. We got my old school arcade cabinet here. This is one of the first things I owned in my collection. I want to say I got this 11 or 12 years ago. It's running on an old PC. Man Cave sign. Added a candy machine, gumball machine to the game room this year. TV's running the Wizard. Here are some of my modded Game Boys. Backlit all of these consoles. Neo Geo Pocket, backlit, really nice stuff. My modest Amiibo collection, some big box RPG type stuff. The Hulk. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. Let's head down this back hallway and we're in the home stretch. So, yeah, a PS4 kiosk. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a PS4 in it yet. Still need to find one of those cheap at a garage sale. We got the Halo standee. A couple 1-Up arcade machines down here. And then this is like my classic console area. So I've got the NES, SNES Classic. I've got the Famicom, Super Famicom Classic, Commodore 64 Mini, the PlayStation Classic, the Genesis Classic, the Neo Geo X. So this is where I do that type of stuff. Huge PS4 banner here, which I pulled out of a dumpster years ago. Some man cave arcade bar top with the bottom portion as well. Really nice size. Running Power Stone through a RetroPie. Power Stone through the Naomi arcade platform. Absolutely love this thing. Really well done. And some retro toys. Micro Machines, a dancing Pepsi can. We've got the Speak and Spell, Rappin' Homer, retro Batman, Star Wars toys that my kids used to play with. We've got the Devastator, the Turtles sewer set, and the Technodrome. And then one more quick addition. I added these to the stairs coming down. Got those from a garage sale. A couple movie posters there. So up next we have the gym, which is actually getting a little bit of use these days. I built this out during the pandemic, and I proceeded to not work out and put on a bunch of weights. So I'm finally getting back in shape. Anyways, guys, that's it. That is the complete 2023 game room tour. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe, hit that bell notification. A huge thank you to those of you that have been with me for years. Much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and till the next episode.